much more detailed than it seems at first glance, so even after dozens of hours, you might not have discovered half of the content. Factorio, a real-time indie strategy that has gained considerable popularity. Factorio is a simulation that builds a management the resources and build various devices for resource extraction and processing. For maximum efficiency, you will need to create automated chains and carefully plan the structure of your factory. Subnautic Experience, one of the most unique indie sandbox games focused on underwater survival. Here, we need to explore the depths of the sea on an uncharted planet to gather resources and craft devices that will help us descend even deeper. In the game, you can dive into caves and chasms, be devoured by smelly sea monsters, build underwater bases, and submarines. Despite being a survival game, the story in Subnautica is well developed and quite interesting. Mount and Blade series, one of the best role-playing action games that immerses you in the harsh world of Middle Age. While freely traveling in the global map, each player can choose a path that suits them, becoming a trader, the leader of a band of robbers, a prominent landowner, or even a king. There are plenty of possibilities for those to achieve your goals here. And if you get tired of the story campaign, you can test your skills in multiplayer battles designed for 64 players. This War of Mine, one of those rare games that allows you to see the war from the perspective of civilians. In this game, you need to manage a group of survivors, sending them on scavenging runs for resources, healing them, accepting or rejecting new inhabitants. However, no matter how hard the player tries, not everyone can be saved. Hotline Miami series. The plot of this game is optional, but the focus is solely on gameplay. It's a very intense and enjoyable top-down action game with satisfying physics. The gameplay in both parts revolves around slaughtering enemies. If you hesitate for a second, you're dead. The hero dies from just one hit. The second part continues and concluded all the story arcs from the first part, with the gameplay remaining mostly unchanged. Divinity Original Sin Fury, a rare case where a game from independent developers enters the top RPGs of all time. It encompasses all the classic elements of the genre: non-linearity, multiple playable classes, party management, turn-based battle. Many developers have resurrected isometric RPGs, giving them a lot of work, but only a few games can truly be considered as both reminders of the past and excellent RPGs that can be readily recommended. Undertale. Games with a pacifist message are quite rare, and it's not often that you come across projects that grant players the freedom to choose how to play and act in this interactive world. Undertale conquers players hiding behind a primitive cover the freedom to choose who you want to be, while reminding you of the consequences of every action. If desired, you can play almost every action, but the world and characters will react and remember every action, down to swatch bugs and repeat. Immersing in new non-standard situations. Shooting star! An excellent 2D Metroidvania series where we need to dig tunnels in search of valuable resources. We gather useful loot, haul it to the surface, upgrade our equipment, and go back in. With the accumulation of upgrades, from pickaxes to hookers, jackhammers, and steam-powered grenade launchers, we can open up new areas to explore. This is accompanied by an interesting story, and the overall game is very addictive. Sometimes it's just interesting to search for items, sell it, and buy a new upgrade.
Leave it to me!
Darkwood. This is an incredibly terrifying game that scares players not through jump scares, but by its oppressive atmosphere. The environment weighs on you, constantly keeping you tense. You have to keep many things in mind, plan your actions ahead, and do everything quickly. During the day, you explore the area and rare encounters with enemies. Build barricades, pray for the game aims to hold special moments, whether it's the creaking of wooden floors, the growls of enemies, or someone's footsteps at night outside your window. The only thing that can spoil the experience is the Phasmophobia. This is a horror game with elements of action and first-person view for solo play or cooperative play with up to 4 players. In this game, you play as a ghost hunter armed with saws, crucifix, and a flashlight. You'll need to fulfill contracts, identify the sinister entities in various locations, and attempt to banish it. The game, even in its early access phase, has attracted a huge audience and is incredibly popular. This is because the horror in Phasmophobia is quite unique. Deep Rock Galactic, a cooperative sci-fi shooter about lone adventurers exploring different planets in search of valuable resources. Whether in single player or with friends, you'll dig, explore, and battle hordes of alien creatures. The key feature of the game is the ability to destroy everything in your path. You can drill straight to your goal or challenge luck to delve into intricate cave mazes generated by Cuphead. The developers literally invested everything they had to make this game. They put everything on the line, and their efforts were not in vain. The world got an absolutely unique game that we've never seen before. Cuphead is a hardcore platformer with delightful old school Disney animation that's evident in every element of the game. Besides the colorful visuals, Cuphead surprises with its gameplay. The standard run-and-gun gameplay constantly changes and presents new challenges, increasing the already high level of difficulty for each passing session.
Ready, Euro?
Euro Truck Simulator 2, arguably the best truck driving simulator. The whole of Europe is designed over 60 cities and towns, Italy, Poland, and other countries like Japan and New Zealand. There's a wide selection of vehicles you can customize. You can start your career as a regular truck driver and end up as a huge transport company that delivers cargo for thousands of kilometers. Precis. After leaving early access, the game gained tremendous popularity, and now without me. This is a roguelike game based on ancient Greek myths and gods. We play as Precis, the prince of the underworld, who, like a teenager, escapes from his father Hades through a window in his chambers and embarks on a journey to the mortal realm, encountering hellish enemies and bosses along the way. Excellent story, high replayability, humor, combat system, a creatively maximalist approach to ancient Greek myths. These and other features help the game become one of the best indie games. Space Engineers, a voxel-based indie sandbox game where you mine resources, build, and maintain spaceships, bases, and more. Resources can be harvested both on planets and in space, such as asteroids. Moreover, all of this can be done in multiplayer. Since its early alpha version, the game has introduced atmospheric planets, missions, planetary transportation, and thousands of small details. Kensher, an isometric open-world RPG with survival elements that will be equally interesting to classic RPG enthusiasts and fans of modern hardcore survival games. In Kensher, we enter a world that lives its own life, where there are no restrictions or rules. You can die in the first 5 minutes, or you can live a long virtual life, establishing your own state, building your own army, building, crafting, traveling, trading, stealing, battling, mercenary work. In Kensher, you can be anyone and do anything. Perhaps that's the game's main strength. Dead Cells, a stylish action platform where you'll die very often to start over. With each new attempt, the level architecture changes, so you never know exactly what's ahead. It's a bloody and neon-drenched beat-em-up where you'll explore dark dungeons and eerie towers, with no room for respite. It will be tough, but you'll keep coming back to it thanks to its dynamic action and the variety of upgrades that persist.
Zoom started as a video conference app, but now Team Chat, phone, whiteboard, calendar, and other great products, Zoom is bigger than ever. Some might say our name could use some expanding to
Shooting star! Shooting star! First knuckle! First knuckle!
share your sound with others people and with Zoom Team Chat, people stay connected. With the new Zoom AI, you can custom meetings, organize new tasks, and drive And with new phone, you can access the work with any device. And now, this game can be tough for anyone other than players to pronounce, so we're going to switch to Thanks so much for coming. Nope, not going to do that.
First knuckle! You're too easy!
Songs and music from endless flavor companies, including new Ashton 2 ounces for $5. Parties, goodness for the making. Exclusive offers on parties.
Even after death, allowing you to gradually progress with each new game. Trine Series. This is a series of platformers with puzzle elements and cooperative gameplay, where a wizard, thief, and a knight work together to save their fantasy world from various threats. The gameplay includes battles with enemies, but the emphasis is on solving puzzles that require the unique abilities of the character. For example, the wizard can levitate objects, while the thief can shoot targets from a distance using a bow.
Leave it to me!
Risk of Rain 2. While the original Risk of Rain was a side-scrolling roguelike platform, its sequel shifted to 3D and presents a third-person multiplayer action experience. Here, teaming up with friends, you'll explore the world, obliterate everything in your path, and gather heaps of loot to make you even stronger. Spiritfarer. If you love beautiful games, you must pay attention to this one. In Spiritfarer, you take on the role of a Spiritfarer, guiding spirits to the afterlife and helping them find peace. Additionally, you'll have to tend to your garden, gather crops, fish, and explore mysterious waters. Beneath its simple premise lies not only a heartwarming journey, but also quite diverse gameplay. Oxygen Not Included, one of the best survival games in the vein of Factorio in recent years. It was developed by the same team behind Don't Starve. Here, we manage a small group of settlers trying to survive in an asteroid. Resources are scarce, and most importantly, there's a shortage of oxygen. Your task is to provide your colonists with shelter and ensure they have enough air, water, food, and other essential necessities. A lot depends on the physical and even psychological state of your colonists, and an epidemic can destroy everything you've built. Inside, after Limbo, Playdead Studio established itself as creators of dark, surreal worlds, and inside they went even further, giving birth to one of the most enigmatic games in recent years. The eerie dystopian setting of Inside is filled with numerous puzzles open to interpretation, culminating in a plot twist that leaves even more questions in its wake.
We have a full score for this!
Celeste. The platformer Celeste became the main indie hit of 2018 and seems tailor-made to appeal to everyone. Its cozy pixel art style with vibrant colors, an enthralling soundtrack you'll want to listen to even after finishing the game, countless mechanics that change the rules of the game, and a superb narrative. Here, you play as a girl who sets out to conquer a snowy mountain and reach its summit.
Shooting stars! Shooting stars!
The advantages of what many consider the best game, 2019 demonstrates that you don't need million-dollar budgets to immerse players in dozens of non-standard situations. Skillfully written text, an excess of creativity, and a willingness to engage players in the trippings while maintaining a sense of humor for all that is necessary. But the main feature of Disco Elysium is its adherence to the tenets of role-playing games. Every interaction is filled with countless dialogue branches, each packed with individuality. That's what truly sets the game
Tear
apart.
into pieces! Tear into pieces! Ow! Tear into pieces!
Perhaps the best example of independent development the game is built entirely on breaking the fourth wall and constantly supporting our activities. The narrative comes with every action the player takes, reflecting the idea of free will and consequence, reminiscent of the nostalgic version. The human show. You can be the daily guidance, through the intended, or you can go against the grain and uncover the backstage, or you can completely break the game and witness someone else's adventure. There are nearly 20 endings that can be reached in completely different ways. Little Nightmares, a dark adventure with elements of stealth, platforming, and horror. The main heroine navigates through the labyrinthine depths of a massive underwater vessel filled with vortex, hungry beings. All she has is a yellow raincoat, a lighter, and the will to live, which drives her forward to overcome obstacles. Starbound, another example of a commercially successful project in the group of enthusiasts. For its developers, Starbound marked the debut game whose funding was very high. The project became the ideal successor to Terraria, a high-quality 2D game about exploring an unfriendly planet. However, in Starbound, instead of one planet, you're presented with an entire galaxy with an infinite number of planets and moons, all generated randomly. Northgard, a real-time strategy game that places a significant emphasis on city building and survival. City building is a crucial aspect here. Timely construction of buildings, their proper placement, and upgrades directly affect the prosperity of your clan. There are a total of 6 clans, each with its unique strategic style. Random events, such as snowstorms or undead invasions, add to the excitement. Maritime expeditions and the ability to choose your development path further enhance the gameplay. Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice, an engaging story where we follow the journey of the main character, who seeks to bring back her loved one. The game heavily relies on creating a sense of presence when played repetitively. While the combat mechanics may seem somewhat repetitive, the atmosphere, graphical realization, and acting performances have had a significant impact. Successful sales and a devoted fanbase further demonstrated that a masterpiece can be created even with limited resources. A realistic indie mechanic simulator. Here, you'll need to upgrade cars in the simplest condition. You can replace parts plugs in the vehicles with subwoofer and decorative decals, and then test the created car by trying to get on board. If the work is done for you, you'll experience the consequences first, after which you'll have to start the game anew, putting in more effort and diligence. Frostpunk, an unusual city building simulator set in a post-apocalyptic 19th century world. A dark and beautiful blend of survival and complex decision-making, constantly presenting us with difficult and sometimes unimaginable choices as we strive to build a city that can protect its inhabitants from the foes. The main goal here is not to build a giant metropolis, but rather to survive, which proves to be quite challenging given the ever-decreasing temperature. Grief. Grief tells the story of a girl's emotional struggle, her battle with depression, and her attempts to hide in a fantastical world to escape real-world issues. It's a beautiful and atmospheric game with enchanting music and a profound narrative. With its simple display and visual storytelling within the environment instead of traditional text dialogue, Grief can appeal to all players. It's one of the rare games that explores the psychological aspects of our lives. Katana Zero, a stylish and dynamic 2D action game with a noir atmosphere and a deep storyline. It has it all: the protagonist amnesia, secret labs, conspiracy theories. At times, the developers inject amusing or even touching dialogues to alleviate the oppressive atmosphere. Despite its side-scrolling view, Katana Zero bears a strong resemblance to Hotline Miami. This turns the game into a true puzzle where you must plan your actions before clearing enemies, aiming to avoid enemies. Tunic, an isometric action game in the vein of the Legend of Zelda series, featuring a small but brave fox exploring a mysterious island full of puzzles and monsters. In Tunic, you'll explore lands brimming with legends, ancient powers, and formidable foes.
Ready to?
Better be
In
careful.
contrast to the first game, this new adventure introduces fast, frequencies and lifeless planes. Controlling a unconventional vessel, players can box the game and use along the way, you battle the water zones, down and punch out the jet, and explore the ruins of the fallen world, This is a very unique and multi-player series that I recommend everyone to experience. Cult of the Moon, the very same roguelike with cartoon graphics, where players take control of a huge sheep and a not-so-huge line of work. The sheep is involved in building its own religious cult in the land of false prophets. Players will explore various mysterious corners of the surrounding cult forest, rally faithful followers around them, and spread their word to the masses to strengthen their cult. Drift, a highly unusual game starring a ginger cat. The setting is a long-abandoned cyberspace in which our ginger hero must escape, unraveling ancient mysteries and finding a way back home in the process. The story of a cat lost in an unfamiliar world, accompanied by a robot companion, is quite touching, especially as we learn more about the world's past. The game quickly gained success, garnering tens of thousands of highly positive reviews on Steam. Inscription. This is the best indie game of 2021. It's a card-based roguelike with a storyline where players can build various decks, solve puzzle-like questions, and enjoy horror elements in the soundtrack. Initially, the game seems like a spooky horror story about a traveler who gets lost in the woods and stumbles upon a cabin inhabited by a forest spirit. To escape alive, you just need to defeat the monster in a card game using the rules of collectible card games roguelike. But over time, something strange starts happening. For instance, the game lets you get up from the table, wander around the cabin, and try to find an alternative escape route. If you manage to do so, Inscription transforms into a completely different game with new gameplay dynamics. That's all, thank you for watching. The Image Game channel is with you. Have a good day.
Considering that the video game industry is now over 50 years old, if you count Pong as the point where it all started, then it's really not surprising that it's given us gamers plenty of big moments that have stuck in our collective memories. But have you ever sat down to wonder which ones are the most iconic? We certainly have, and it's for this reason that we've decided to bring you today's big list. To help us pull this list together, we went out amongst our wonderful community with a simple question. What are, in your opinion, the most unforgettable moments in history?
Well, you have to give your thoughts. Don't give me that. Original plan, the 101 most unforgettable moments both real world and game has been thrown out of the window, and we decided instead to create a separate list, starting with the most iconic in-game moments.
Every entry on this list is something that one of our favourite games that has stuck with us long after the credits roll. It's a single quote or as big as the death of a beloved character, but what matters is that they stay on our minds and in our hearts since their respective games release. As is always the case with these big lists, we must establish some rules. First off, we want to make it very clear that that's the case with our 101 video games that everyone should play on this list. These entries are in no particular order. What that means in practice is that the entry in the number 1 spot is no more or less meaningful than the entry in the number 101 spot.
Secondly, in order to get the we've got alphabet in history of football, and freestyle games, where you guys pick multiple options. So we've got the and pick the moments that we think stand out the most.
Finally, a massive spoiler warning is in effect from here on out. Now, the nature of this list, this is unavoidable as we will be covering major plot twists and character death. You know, the unforgettable moments. With all that hopefully nice and clear, I'm Ben, I'm Peter,
and I'm Ashton from Doja, and here are the 101 most unforgettable moments in gaming history.
Number 101, The Identity of Darth Vader, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. These days, the twist at the end of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is probably one of the worst kept secrets in gaming. It is the video games what Bruce Willis was dead the whole time is to movies, but that doesn't stop it from being completely iconic. Released in 2003 exclusively for PC and Xbox, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic tells the story of the player character's fight to defeat the Sith Lord, Darth Vader. 4,000 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire, KOTOR takes place shortly and Mandalorian. The behest of Jedi Knights Revan and Malak is involved in the war in the Republic of Big Story. Revan and Malak then before returning as Sith Lord and Apprentice respectively and invading the Republic themselves. After Revan is killed by Jedi, Malak succeeds as Force Master and begins his own campaign of terror. The game opens with the player character awakening aboard a Republic ship which is under attack from Malak's forces. After crashing on the surface of Taris, the player embarks on a quest to find the Jedi and acquire more information about the Star Forge, the source of Malak's military resources. After journeying to a number of planets, the player is ultimately captured by Darth Malak, who reveals that, shock horror, the player is an amnesiac Darth Revan. He gasps, screams, fainting, and other visceral reactions from players. Truly, I can't twist. Number 100. Waiting for Pagan Myth, Far Cry 4. This one's a bit of a strange entry, to tell you the truth, as not everyone who played Far Cry 4 will have gotten to experience it. Those who have, though, will know exactly why we've decided to put it on our list. This particular moment happens right at the beginning of Far Cry 4's runtime. Players take control of R.J. Darley, a man who travels to the fictional country of Kyriat in order to unite his mother's ashes with his sister's shrine. Unfortunately for him, his bus is attacked by the Royal Army, and RJ and his tour guide are kidnapped by Pagan Min, king of Kyriat and antagonist of the game. Should RJ flee his mansion while his tour guide is being interrogated, and the game proceeds as planned. They will become embroiled in the civil war that has broken out in the country and will ultimately learn of his family's history. However, if he waits patiently as instructed by Min, Pagan will return to the table, thank RJ for being a gentleman, and then lead him to his sister's shrine to place his mother's ashes. After that, Min invites RJ to join him to finally shoot some goddamn guns, and then that's it. The game ends. This moment completely caught players off guard when the game was released, as it was a complete subversion. Usually a game would refuse to move forward, or would see the player character killed for not doing what it wanted them to. In this instance, Far Cry 4 rewarded those who followed Min's instructions with a neat little mystery that has one of the most brilliant in gaming history. Number 99. The First Licker, Resident Evil 2. The Resident Evil series is full to bursting with horrifying monsters, both human and bioorganic, and so it was incredibly difficult for us to whittle the options down to just one per game. In particular, gave players plenty of memorable monster moments, so we must give honourable mention to the first time that not correct and unnecessary with the delight of the conference the week. However, the Resident Evil 2 moments chosen by the most players was the first time the players run into a lick. Wandering the corridors, both Claire and Leon can catch a glimpse of some hideous, fleshy monstrosity crawling past the windows. Rounding a corner, they'll come face to face with the Licker, one of the most terrifying creatures in the Resident Evil universe. The Licker is unlike anything that players have come across in the game up to that point. Not only can they traverse walls and ceilings, but they're also devilishly fast, vicious, damn near impossible to kill, and have long, barbed tongues that they use to attack. By the time the players meet one, they're completely unprepared for it, and that's what makes it such a frightening moment. As the game turned up to reveal that hideous face, accompanied by a wonderfully tense score, every Resident Evil 2 player absolutely cracked themselves, and you're lying if you say you did. Number 98. Nico, it's Roman, let's go bowling. Grand Theft Auto 4. According to our good friends over at Metacritic, even if they don't ask us, Grand Theft Auto 4 is the third best game ever made, and so it makes sense that throughout its runtime there's a number of unforgettable moments. We could have gone with the opening credit sequence, a cutscene that bathed into gravity and debauchery, or the game's ending in which either Cousin Roman or Pete gets shot, depending on the choices the player has made. However, it feels fitting to choose an infamous occurrence from the game, one that has been endlessly quoted by fans ever since GTA 4's release back in 2009. Indeed, despite knowing that his cousin is probably Roman Bennett constantly tells Nico to go bowling. Take him up on the offer, they get to enjoy a nice game with a beloved family member, and will raise Roman's funds of racing is the process. Raise it high enough and Roman will give Nico 3 racing rides for life. Apparently, despite the interruption being a bit of a pain in the arse, the repeated invitation to look back on fondly by most GTA 4 players. Fun fact, although we turned Roman's offer down more times than we can count, it still stung when we called him last to go home. And he use.
I guess you would like coffee frost. Maybe later.
Number 97. The Unicorn, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. By and large, CD Projekt Red's 2015 masterpiece, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, is a fairly serious affair. Just because its plot is sober, though, it doesn't mean that The Witcher 3 is completely without a sense of humour. In fact, one of the most iconic and unforgettable moments in the game is one of the sillier ones. During the main story quest, The King is Dead and Long Live the King, Yennefer convinces Geralt to lead the way to Skellige's king and help her break into Omium's laboratory and steal the mask of Ouroboros. After a fight with a number of hallucinated animals and a real Earth elemental, the duo is able to get their hands on the mask, but their plans to return to the lake are hindered by some pretty nasty poison gas. Yen asks Geralt to think of something, and if players choose the option pertaining to kissing her, she'll teleport them to her room rather than back to the lake. As she goes to fix her dress, Ness begins a bit steamy, but rather than take her to bed, Yen insists on climbing on the back of a stuffed unicorn, giving us perhaps the most insane yet memorable moment in the game. Just try not to think too hard about it.